mood, your overall sense of well-being, your presence, how you present yourself in a space, and see if these things are working. Today, we're diving into something that literally surrounds us every moment, but we rarely tune into consciously. What we're exploring today is how our five senses are actually gateways to healing, not just passive receivers of information. Whether you're creating, parenting, building relationships, chasing goals, or growing a business, your nervous system is the foundation of everything you do. Our senses are like volume controls for our inner world, and today we're learning how to be the DJ of our own healing through addressing, adjusting, and applying your senses intentionally. Welcome to Adjusting. Welcome to Adjusting, a safe space for candid conversations about mental health and well being with your host, Justin G. Nelson. Whether you're recovering from trauma, redefining your purpose, managing mental health, or simply craving more authenticity, this show is for you. I hope something resonates with you and helps you on your own personal journey. So sit back, relax, and let's start adjusting. And we're back with another episode of Adjusting Podcast with your host, Justin G. Nelson. And this is going to be a great episode. I like this. It takes you back to your inner child when you learn about your five senses. But I want us to tap back into that space from a lens of mental health and how we can use our senses to help us heal. This will be a mix of Western and Eastern philosophy and science and spirituality in this space of adjusting. So I hope you're ready for that. Before we get into the nitty gritty, I want to thank TJ with TJ podcast for editing all of my stuff. He is the brains behind a lot of the edits and things. So thank you, TJ. If you want to support me in other ways, you can do so by following my other pages, my vegan lifestyle page, which is Earthy and Cultured. There, I'm going to start sharing more holistic things because I'm getting back into like my tinctures, essential oils, and those holistic things. So follow me there. If you want to support my branding and marketing, you can do so by following Type J Marketing, which is undergoing a huge change with things and structure. Because yeah, that's another episode for another day. If you want to follow my creative journey as a performer, journeying back to Broadway and TV and film, you can do so by following at Justin G. Nelson. If you like books or anything, follow my Substack where I have a section called Just Vibes. I'm really tapping back into my blackness as a 36-year-old who I don't want to say turn a blind eye because I know what racism is, but to the nitty gritty of it, like I had a good conversation with Ebony about this. So reading more about just our culture and the history and things like that. So I'm gonna talk about that on Just Vibes as well. And also just follow my adjustingpod.substack.com, where it's my blog where we have adjusted perspectives and adjusted annotations. Working on those affirmations this month was wild. Wow. And the affirmation videos take a long time to make. I didn't realize until I made the first one. So I have to be in that space to make those. But when I drop them, I'm just going to drop 3 videos at this point. So that's that. Still looking for guests for season 3. So if you'd like to be a guest, you can click on the link below and sign up. I have to respond to some people. I'm trying to figure out my work schedule for September so I can make sure Mondays are my days to do my interviews and things like that. All right. So if you're driving, focus on the road. Focus on the road. I've heard of too many car accidents recently, and I just need y'all to focus, okay? If you're not and you're in a space where you can give yourself time to get grounded for this episode, I welcome you to do that right now. So ground your feet. Take your shoes off. Take your socks off. Just get it. And we're talking about senses today, so I want you to feel the flow of the energy moving up from your feet. So ground your feet, relax your ankles, your calf muscles, your knees, your thighs, your hips. Relax your stomach. Relax your chest, your shoulders, your neck, your chin, your forehead, and close your eyes. We're going to do a 4-7-8 breathing. So you're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 7, and release on a S for 8. Begin. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let it all out. Let all of that cycle out. Blah, let it out. And one more time, a little slower this time. We're going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yay. Okay, great. Oh, I forgot to mention, thank you to those who were able to come to the Darkness Rising, the Juke Joint panel discussion. It was an amazing experience. I'm grateful to have been on the panel of diverse men. We had an artist, singer, activist. We had a dancer. We had someone else in the mental health space. And we had me, And it was great. It was my first panel in this world of mental health. And I'm praying for more opportunities. Please be sure to support Darkness Rising Project. They are a 501c3 and they are doing the work for the Black community. If you're someone who is looking for therapy, they have initiatives and programs and funding set up that is able to give people therapy opportunities. I don't want to speak too much about the organization because I don't want to misquote anything, but visit their website for more information. Okay, great. All right, so let's set the stage for today's episode. All right, so imagine walking into one of your favorite spaces, whether it's a library, someone's home, church, your work office space. I know it's weird, but classroom, something. And everything you see, the smell of the space, the touch of the couch, the chair, the desk, your favorite mug. You take a drink of something in the space, and all those senses are awakened when you walk in. It's your nervous system automatically responding to sensory input by saying, this feels good. This feels like a safe space. This feels like a space where I don't have to put on a space where I don't have to put on a mask, and I am able to just exist, to be, to feel, to experience, to live. Now, from an Eastern medicine perspective, our senses aren't just biological functions, they're energy gateways. So I want you to understand that trauma and triggers can affect your nervous system and can hijack your senses, making certain sounds, smells, and textures feel unsafe. This goes back to your inner child. If there is something traumatic, it could even be food. I know for me, it was beets. Okay. If I smell beets, because in preschool, St. Matthew's preschool, they would force us to eat the food. It was like, you're not leaving this cafeteria to eat your food. And they would force us to eat it. And that was traumatic for a child to be forced to eat something. Great, yes, it was healthy for us to eat it. But baby, if I don't want to eat it, why are you forcing me to eat the food? So those things for people who were victims of sexual trauma or sexual assault, certain smells, sounds, environment or something, a couch, the feel of leather, something like that can instantly trigger something within a person. But the beautiful thing is these same pathways are our gateway to healing. All right. So your body is already speaking to you through your senses every single moment. We're just learning how to listen to this language and respond with intention. So let's start with addressing your senses, recognizing your sensory patterns. All right. So I'm going to start with the eyes, okay? The visual sensory highway. All right. So lighting literally changes your neurochemistry. There are people who love mood lighting. Okay, you know, red room. Was like, yeah, that's sexy. That's nice. Okay, you have yellow. You're thinking, oh, this is so like heavenly, and I feel so awakened because you know, yellow we equate it to the sun. So fluorescent lights can spike your cortisol levels, why soft, warm light signals safety to your nervous system. That's why sometimes people don't understand, like with lighting, you have like a soft white light, you have an outdoor light, you have a regular white. These are just like your everyday lights in your home. Those affect things. I know we sometimes look at it as like home interior kind of thing, but if you are intentional about your lighting, then you'll notice like, no, like this really makes me feel a little better. And that just goes back to the science of lighting. Colors carry vibrational frequencies that either energize or drain your system. And I love the trend going on right now with people finding their color palettes and I'm a warm autumn or I'm a warm spring or blah blah blah. I don't see enough black people doing that, so I need some more black people to jump in this train. But we know what we look good in. Okay, I look good in olive green. I look good in red. I don't like a lot of red, but I look good in it. I look good in gray. So it's just like those things we say these are our power colors. But with science and even mental health, these colors evoke a sense of confidence, a sense of power. When you know you have on your power color, you mean business. Okay? And it shifts everything in your nervous system, your brain, and everything is just like, yes, now is the time. Natural light exposure, especially early morning sunlight, regulates our circadian rhythm and supports healthy hormone production. So this is why I'm always just like go for a walk in the morning before it's too hot or if it's too cold. You know, find what temperature works for you. But going for a walk, getting that sunlight on your skin, it's a game changer. Okay, but wear sunscreen. Okay, we don't need sun cancer, skin cancer, stuff like that. And visual clutter creates mental clutter. So we talked about last week adjusting your space, but your brain is constantly processing everything in your visual field. This is why I'm saying you cannot create in a place of clutter. When your eyes see clutter, your brain is thinking that's a lot of shit to process. When your eyes see space and emptiness, your brain sees a field of opportunities, a field where you can explore, create, grow, and prosper. So, what are you choosing today? Are you choosing to prosper? Or are you choosing to dwindle in the past because of the clutter? You decide. Great. Now we're going to talk about sound. So, your auditory landscape. Sound waves, I talk about frequencies a lot with the hertz and how it relates to your chakras. So sound waves physically move through your body and shift your brain waves. All right, because my church people, okay, when that drum gets going and that praise break hit, it's just like, yeah. So it's like, it's just that thing. I finally watched the movie Sinners because we had to talk about it for the panel. Granted, we never talked about the movie per se, but it was just the theme. And there was a scene in the movie where Preacher Boy was playing the guitar frequencies, the strings frequencies, and the way he struck those strings and sang your vocal cords frequencies, it created this Holy Ghost fire. Fire carries frequencies to which the ceiling just exploded. The devil came. Sorry, spoiler alert. And then everyone was just dancing, but the dance rhythms was from a place of frequency and release. So I just want y'all to see that like all of this is connected in one way or another. But your nervous system categorizes sounds as either safe or threatening based off past experiences or evolutionary programming. So when there is like a high pitch frequency, I I live in New York, and we know that living in New York brings certain things to your living situations, of which I have discovered mice. I'm just going to say mice. And I bought these things off Amazon. 1 star review, by the way. And they're supposed to be like mice frequency thingies where like it's supposed to give off some high pitch wave that humans can't hear, but mice can. Maybe mine is on mute. I don't know, but they can't hear it. But there are also like other frequencies that deter like dogs and things like that. So those are harsh sounds. For us, it can be a certain song that was played through a traumatic experience, and it just caused you to like, turn it off. I don't want to hear it. Sometimes it's an artist that you just don't like. I won't say who that is, but it happens. So, certain frequencies, like those used in sound healing, can actually help reset your nervous system and promote cellular repair. So, at night, I've started listening to more frequencies for like deep sleep, healing. I remember when Grabavoy numbers were a thing, and then people say that wasn't a thing. They worked for me. I ain't gonna lie, they work for me. I like them, but there are certain playlists. I'm leery sometimes of those playlists. They can say they are a certain frequency, and they can be something else. Also referencing Sinners again, the vampires knew the sound they were looking for. That was just a good movie. I want to talk about the movies more, but they knew the sound they were looking for and the way it was giving off a certain energy. That was just like, yeah, that energy. I want that energy to use it for bad. Whew, there's the thing. There's a message. Anyway, background noise versus intentional sounds make all the difference. So that's why I talked about adjusting your playlist and how I listen to lo-fi music sometimes when I'm creating because I don't want the additional lyrics or things to throw me off, but also certain background noises and types of music can help keep your nervous system or keep your anxiety low while you're working on something stressful. So next, we're going to talk about touch in your nervous system. So touch is considered your nervous system's love language. Touch is the first sense we developed and how we initially learn about safety and connection in the world. The biggest example of touch is when someone says, "Don't touch that; it's hot." I think heat is the first type of touch that we learn as a child. And then your bald head self decides to touch the eye or touch the pot or touch the skillet because you're curious about what is heat, what is hot, what is ouch. You touch it, burnt. Look at you, hard headed and burnt. But temperature changes send direct signals to your vagus nerve, which controls your rest and digest responses. Texture sensitivity often indicates nervous system overwhelm or trauma stored in the body. Pressure and weight can be incredibly regulating, which is why weighted blankets work and why some people crave tight hugs. I love my weighted blanket. Okay, love it. So while we're in the addressing section of it all, I went to a workshop. What was the panel discussion the other day? It was with I Heart Body, no, Heart, Body, and Soul, and it was their Vital and Vision series. And this one was intimacy, imbalance, and intention, or something like that. I'm butchering it. I got there late, but it was all about like sex. And I talk about like sexual wellness and just in your sexual position. But one of the panelists talked about sex loving Goop. And I watched it a couple of years ago. And I found it fascinating that I was talking about senses this week and they were talking about that series. And so when it comes to touch in your nervous system, touch is a huge part of sex. And I wanted to just share a few things. So, your nervous system feels safe. through sensory input. This is the through the use of sexual things. So it can be oils or wax. It can be toys or anything like that. Gentle music helps. Lighting a candle, adding essential oils, we will talk about later. Adding food and all those things to your sexual environment. So many people struggle with being present during sex because their nervous system is stuck in fight or flight. That's why a lot of people, enjoy like the foreplay time to really relax the nervous system. But that's primarily from a place of healthy sex. And I don't want to make this to a sex therapy episode, but watch Sex, Love, and Goop because she really does a good job at emphasizing the senses and sexual pleasure, and helping to release trauma stored in the body. Because I always say, like, relax your hips. Your hips and your shoulders, your neck are where a lot of people store sexual trauma. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a therapist yet, but that is something to think about. All right. So I want to talk about smell. Okay. Smell, the direct highway to memory and emotion. So scent bypasses your logical brain and goes straight into your limbic system. I'm giving y'all a lot of technical things today because I've just been in the space of expansion, but making it relevant, Okay. Which controls emotions and memories. So there's a system that is directly connected to other parts of your brain, which helps with smell, and that can trigger fight or flight as well. There are a lot of triggers when it comes to smell. I know now one trigger. This is not like sexual trigger or a traumatic thing. Chitlins. Listen, that's a trigger. You can clear a building with chitlins, okay? I just know they just smell horrible. I'm vegan, so I don't eat them, but that's gross. But I want to say essential oils work because they give out compounds that relate heavily to the nervous system. Peppermint oil, lavender, chamomile, ylang ylang, lemon, like all those scents really help and connect with certain chakras in the body because of the color, because of their frequency, because of just their vibration they give off. So like I always say, like, light a candle in the morning, light an incense, light sage, Palo Santo, or turn on some type of essential oil because it will really help set the tone for the day. Last thing is taste, beyond just the food. All right. So taste is intimately connected to your emotional state and can trigger memories and feelings just like smell. Your digestive system has its own nervous system, and what you taste sends signals about safety and nourishment. So, this goes back to elementary. So, bitter, sour, sweet, savory, salty, or we say umami now, not savory, but umami. Each have different effects on your nervous system and can shift your energy. It can also shift your physical health too. So don't eat all that salty food or that sugary food, all right? But the act of mindful tasting activates your nervous system and brings you into the present moment. All right, so now we're going to talk about adjusting your senses, becoming intentional with your sensory environment. So we always talk about like a morning routine or things and habits you want to create. And the buzzword now is toolkits, okay? So I have my creative toolkit. I have this blah, blah toolkit. We're going to make a toolkit today, all right? We're going to talk about your healing toolkit. So essential oils. This first thing we're going to put in there, essential oils, okay? You can start with, these are the basics. If you ever go to like a Walgreens or Target, if you're not supporting the boycott, or any other place, your starter kit will include lavender. Lavender is for your nervous system. Peppermint, I love peppermint in my bathtub, in my shower. Eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is another key one. Tea tree oil. You'll get lemon, orange, and let me see, lavender, peppermint, eucalyptus. lemon, tea tree oil, and orange. Those are the six you'll get. Some additional ones outside of that, I'll say bergamot is for good for lifting mood and reducing anxiety, and frankincense is for grounding and spiritual connection. I don't know if I mentioned it, but peppermint is good for focus and energy. Peppermint tea is good too, as well, if you want tea, but don't like go to a good tea shop and get you some good tea. This is why I like TJ's podcast because he talks about teas and connects them with like topics and stuff like that. So like watch his stuff, and he may give y'all some good recommendations of teas are his thing. So he'll give you some good recommendations of tea shops in New York to go to. I go down the street to Brooklyn Tea. I say what I need. They hook me up. Boom. All right. So we got essential oils in our toolkit. Sound healing. If you want to invest in just one simple bowl, sound bowl, you're going to ding, you can have that. If not, make a playlist with certain frequencies. Light therapy, I would probably recommend getting those color changing lights for your apartment or your home, just for your therapy's sake. Like if you want to get away from like the bright white lights or the overhead light, but just make it a more sensory thing, get one of those. I don't know the brands, but the one you with a remote control you can change. Highly recommend that. And then texture, I would say get a weighted blanket. Okay, that will be good. For smell, we have the essential oils. So I think that's everything. And then for your morning check-ins, so do a body scan and just see what type of mood you're in when you wake up. If you have a headache, you don't need no light. You need to just chill with some peppermint oil, some lo-fi music, and a weighted blanket. Okay, but if you are in it to win it, get some sunlight. We're gonna check the temperature and see what type of sun we can do, what type of smells we need. I like to start with either a peppermint or no, I like my Palo Santo uh, incense for the morning. Yeah. Or I have like a rose one I do in the morning. Yeah. So we're going to do that in the morning. Okay. We're going to do some grounding, breathing exercises just to get the nose also engaged aside from the candle or the scents. A little stretching. Okay. That's the feel. We're going to stretch some and then do a sensory audit of your space, walk through the environment and notice what sounds are constantly playing in the background, what scents are present or missing. How does the lighting make me feel? What textures surround me? What visual elements are either calming or chaotic? I know for me, my bookshelf can be chaotic. All right. So I want to make sure like either the books are going from short to tall. Are they in color order? Like, I think that's why certain people, I don't want to say like people who are diagnosed with ADHD or OCD, but like why their spaces just make sense because it's just like everything has a purpose and a place. And everything in your life should have a purpose and a place. Word of God for the people of God. A sensory audit can also mean checking into your body's responses. Does this space make your shoulders tense up? Does it help you breathe deeper? Does it make you want to stay or leave? That that is awareness. That is sensory audit. Okay. If you walk in a place and the music too loud or it smells like straight up weed, your body be like, we should leave. We should leave. If you walk in a place and it's just too many people and you're just like, there's not enough space in here. Like I'm feeling claustrophobic, you should leave. So, quick resets for when you're feeling triggered or overwhelmed. Carry a small essential oil roller. You can make one. You can get them. They sell them. You like get one for instant calm. There are some that are like anxiety relief sticks. Um, you can either get like a spray and just like lightly spray it on. You don't want to offend people around you, but get some like that. Cold water on your wrist to help reset your nervous system, or find a texture that grounds you, like a smooth stone in your pocket, or your crystals. If you're into crystals, that's really good to have. So, for my overwhelmed parent or parents that are listening, create sensory pockets of peace in your home. It can be your book nook. It can be the side of your bed. It can be whatever you need that allows you a time to check in with you so that you can reset and not hurt your kids. Okay. Creative, sensory environments that unlock flow states that aren't just about having a pretty workspace. It can be just a candle scent or just time on your couch. Just stepping away from your work is a huge step in unlocking and unblocking some things. So find times, find space for that. Couples, shared sensory rituals that bring you closer might include cooking together. Get out my kitchen. That's not, you can help me plate the food, you can help me prep the food, but when it comes to cooking, get out, get out. Okay. Or really savoring taste. Wine, like be fake wine influencers. Just like, oh, let's taste these wines and see what we can taste. Like doing those things is fun, it's cute, but it's also sensory. Include sensory. And for my goal setters and entrepreneurs, use scents and sounds to anchor peak performance states. Choose one scent for deep work sessions. Mine is a teak wood mahogany or a cedar wood. Love those. Another for creative and brainstorming, I do citrus scents, so lemon, orange, grapefruit, things like that. And then a specific music, like I said, mine is lo-fi, that helps you focus so you can access on demand. All right? All right, so we've talked about adjusting and addressing. So now we're going to apply these things for a grounded and whole future you. I'm always going to build on the whole you pyramid. All right. So, number one, start small. You don't have to go out and get a sound bowl, your essential oils, a new playlist, some food, a weighted blanket, and all that today. One thing at a time. All right. Because for some of y'all, everything might be together and you need that one missing piece of the puzzle. It might be two things. I don't know. But we're going to start small. Start small for a big impact. So choose one sense that feels the most accessible to you right now. Maybe it's adding peppermint oil to your morning routine or playing calming music during stressful transitions. The 1% rule applies to step one, okay? Tiny sensory shifts compound over time into massive transformation. So don't underestimate the power of small, consistent changes. Boom. Track how you feel with these small shifts. See how they affect your energy, your mood, your overall sense of well-being, your presence, how you present yourself in a space, and see if these things are working. Number two, so we're going to create sensory anchors for your future self. So design specific sensory combinations that represent a version of yourself you're becoming. Confident, you might have a signature scent. We love a signature scent. Right now, Jackie Aina is coming with the people for She Was Here. Okay. Some of y'all, I'm a Zara guy, so my cologne collection consists of everything from Zara. Right now I'm wearing the orange. It's like a strawberry nomad or orange nomad, one of them, but it's an orange scent and a strawberry scent. Those are my signature scents right now. Right now. But there was another one I wore. It was like a weekday one. Baby, I walked in the room. It's like, what you got on, Zara? So, Zara, if you're listening to this, send me colognes. Great. But if you're creative, you might have a particular playlist that is just like your in the zone playlist. And if there's a texture, maybe there's a certain pillow or like something silk that you love to work in, wear that. So use these anchors consistently so your nervous system learns to access these states more easily over time. The third thing is navigate resistance with compassion. So when certain scents or sounds feel wrong at first, honor that. Please just honor it. Don't try to fight through it or wrestle through it. Honor it. Nibble and gorge. Build that container. It's often your body protecting you from past trauma, and that's wisdom worth listening to. I know for me, it was cuddling and physical touch. Like I'm like, ugh, don't touch me. And it's taking time to get through that. Expand your comfort zone by gently starting with the edges of what feels safe and gradually exploring new sensory experiences. Know when to seek additional support. So if sensory experiences consistently trigger overwhelming responses, working with a trauma-informed practitioner can help you reclaim these pathways safely. It's about the neural pathways and rewiring things, but sometimes you need professional support. Okay, not your best friend, a professional, a licensed professional. Not even me right now, but somebody else. Number 4, share your journey without forcing it. Like my podcast, this is me sharing my journey. Introduce these concepts to families, to your partner, to your kids by modeling rather than teaching. Let them experience the calmer, more regulated version of you that emerges from the work. Be the change you wish to see in the world. So if you wake up and go for a walk, your partner is just like, where you going? I'm going for a walk. And no, you didn't do anything. I'm just going for a walk. You can join me if you want. If not, don't bother me. Those things, those ways, okay? Remember that your sensory healing creates ripple effects that naturally inspire others without you having to convince anyone. Show up as the new you every day and watch how people adjust. Build a sustainable sensory practice. So integrate sensory awareness into routines you already have rather than adding more to your plate. One more time. Integrate sensory awareness into routines you already have rather than adding more to your plate. Notice scents while you brush your teeth. Feel textures while you get dressed. Listen intentionally while you commute. So find a good podcast like mine or audiobook or something that you can listen to, whether it's a self-help book or something, or it could just be music that is grounding and calming to your nervous system. Like, there are ways to integrate things into your practice already without creating something new and overwhelming your nervous system. Great. Create backup plans for difficult life seasons. What works when you're stressed, traveling, sick, or in transition might be different from your ideal routine. And trust your body's changing needs. Some days you'll crave energizing scents and bright lights. Other days you'll need soft sounds and gentle textures. And that's perfect. Okay, so as we wrap up today's exploration with the senses, I want to leave you with this. Pick one sense this week as we're leading up to Labor Day, okay? And gently get curious about it. Maybe it's noticing how different essential oils shift your energy, or paying attention to how natural light versus artificial light affects your mood. And remember that healing isn't linear. Okay, some days your senses will need different things, and that is perfectly okay. That is your body. That is you listening to your body. What scent works for you won't work for your best friend. Okay, but you can share this episode with your best friend so y'all can talk about it and compare scents. You have everything you need within you and around you to begin this journey of sensory healing. The beautiful thing is that you start to tune into your own sensory needs. You'll naturally begin to create environments that supports not just your healing, but everything and everyone around you too. So until next time, keep listening to what your body is telling you through your senses. You're wiser than you know, okay? And I can't wait to hear about your new discoveries. So until next time, keep adjusting. Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. I hope you take something away to help you make the adjustments you need. Before you go, please take a quick second to share this with someone you care about. And if you can, please leave a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you're listening to this on. For more information about adjusting or to inquire about being a guest, head over to adjustingpod.com. Until next time.